Purnima Nagaraja, a mental health professional from Hyderabad. In the last 40 days, we've had 3 suicides among students. These are the ones that have actually reached the papers. There's so many that don't. Even more, people who attempt but fail. And topping the list would be people who self-harm, headbanging, they cut themselves, stop eating, stop caring for themselves. What is wrong with our children today? Or is that the right question we should be asking our children? Why do we ask our children if something is wrong? Because this whole generation of children between the ages of 12 and 27, so that would include children and youngsters, are completely depressed, suicidal and directionless. Several of them are in a severe existential crisis. But do we have time to notice? It's only when something makes breaking news spectacular, it's then that we all start discussing what's wrong, what's happening, why? Some blame institutions, some blame the system, some blame parenting, some blame the children. In fact, a lot of us end up blaming children. The common complaints we have amongst adults who talk about children are, oh, these children are hooked to their mobiles. They don't do anything, they don't study, they have no direction, they have no choice. Please ask yourself one question. Are we even giving them a choice? Have we taught them life skills to survive disappointment, to survive frustration? The young man from Hyderabad, he wrote a suicide note which says that he was compared a lot with other children and therefore he couldn't take the fact that he was not getting good grades. One more before that died because of poor grades. We've also seen the children of Telangana suffering and many dying in this very city of Hyderabad because of low grades and some faulty evaluations in their class 12 exams. Enough comments on Facebook and other social media that says these children are weak. If they were depressed, why didn't they take help? Would we ever say that to somebody who has a physical ailment? Oh, it's all your fault. You're not trying hard enough. These are things that children who are depressed hear because these are all invisible disorders. We don't see them. If you break an arm or you break a leg, it's so visible that people say, oh, you poor thing. How did that happen? But would you ever say that to a person with a fractured limb that says, hey, snap out of it, you're not trying hard enough? Or how did your bone break? Mine didn't. We only say this to people who are depressed. We only say this to people who are anxious. Whenever I break the news to a child's parent that I think your child could be quite severely depressed, and they would say, hey, what need does he have to get depressed? We give him everything. If material things could solve depression, then every parent should go out there and buy their children the most expensive gadgets, the most expensive clothes, and say, poof, your depression is gone. Do we even realize? I have many parents who come to me. Child would have been depressed for more than, say, 8-9 years, right from grade school onwards. They notice it only when the child stops performing and stops going to school or college and stops writing exams. As long as the child is performing well in school, getting fantastic marks, it doesn't matter if their mental health is deteriorating beyond the point that they contemplate suicide, they contemplate self-harm, they contemplate running away from home. Do you know that India ranks rather high in the world unhappiness scale for youngsters? Do you also know that in India, every hour, a child between the ages of 15 and 21 dies of suicide? Do we know that every family in India, and probably many families in the world also, have at least one child who has either attempted suicide or died from suicide? There is not a single child today that is not disgruntled, aggressive, violent, depressive, or even self-harming. Now, why is all this happening? What is the reason? There are many stressors in this world, and I think stress is our middle name these days. So, when a child is born, parents are stressing the child out because, oh, my child should walk fast, my child should talk fast, my child should be the best in even kindergarten. And then comes school, my child has to get the highest marks, and a parent decides when the child is in class 8 or even in class 6, sometimes in class 2 or 3, that the child has to go to an IIT foundation or a medical school foundation. The child doesn't even know how to spell those words. Do we ever give our children a platform to talk and say, okay, what do you want? I had a young lady who was brought to me by her mother because she wanted to be an astronaut. and she was completely inspired by Kalpana Chawla. And the mother thought, because she's not doing her BTech and refusing to do a BTech, there's something psychiatrically wrong with her. And I had yet another young lady who was brought to me because she just finished her exams and came home, and she took a chair and hit her mother. And that's terrible, you don't hit a parent. By any standards, that's terrible. But when I asked her why, she said, "Auntie, what do you want me to do? I just wrote my exams and came back. It's not even been an hour. And my mom says, start studying for the entrance exams. Don't I deserve at least a break to sleep for a few hours, because I've been, relentlessly studying without sleeping." I got violent and I hit her. The standards we expect from our children are beyond their capabilities. As parents, is it not our duty to know whether our child is average, above average, or over the top? Is it not our duty as parents and as adults to give a child a platform that talks about his or her interests before we thrust our dreams upon them? Many parents would ask, is it wrong to dream? Absolutely not. Please dream. Please be ambitious for your child. But please realize when it's becoming a little too much. Please realize you're trampling on a child's dreams. If a child wants to be an academician, wants to do commerce, you don't say, do a BTech and then you do that. BTech is not a basic degree, it's 4 years. And if you don't like it, it's 4 years of hell. After that, they would say, finish your masters and then think about whatever you want. You can do whatever you like then. After they finish their masters, you have to work, find a job. After that, you do whatever you like. And then get married, and then after that, you do whatever you like. Where do the children get a break? Before they know it, they are fathers or mothers of a couple of kids, working in a job they don't like, in a profession they can't stand, no time to go out, no time to do anything because of the shifts and the kind of demands that jobs have nowadays. And then we wonder, why is my son depressed? Why is my daughter depressed? We don't even realize that we have done this to them. Where are those schools with playgrounds? Where are those schools which have games period? Where are those schools which have a healthy teacher and child interaction? They're just gone, disappeared, poof. Today we have schools without even windows, toilets which are filthy, no playground to play with. It's considered a great favor to children if we say, oh, once a month we take them out to play, or once a month we take them out to sing some songs and have some painting classes. Once a month. Several schools during exams don't give children holidays. Even Sundays, children are forced to come into colleges and schools. When do they get their break? Why don't we realize that they need a break? This is the reason, this is the major reason why our children are so unhappy. They are so depressed. They do not relate to parents. They don't relate to any adult for that matter. A lot of parents actually believe that even a 10-minute break is a waste of time. That the child should be reading all the time, even while eating. If the child wants to take a break and maybe sit on social media or do anything they want, watch TV, why are you wasting time? So the child grows up with anxiety that anything they do is a waste of time. So what's the next thing they do? They sit in the bathroom for a long time with the phones or with magazines or with anything. You can't do anything when the child is in the bathroom, right? And then before they know it, parents realize that a child is spending a couple of hours in the bathroom. And then that's their break. I know children who fall asleep on the toilet seats, lie down under the sink and fall asleep because they just want a little bit of sleep. Is this what we want? Is this the future we see for our children? As parents, as adults, as society, is this the only thing in life? Yes, the world is moving very fast. Yes, there's a lot of competition. Yes, there's a population overgrowth, so no jobs for people. Yes, they need the best opportunities in life. Yes, you're working beyond your capacity to provide for your child. Yes to all of those things. But do we also realize in this whole process of being parents, do we even realize that we're being abusive to our children? Abuse is not only beating them, abuse is tampering with their self-esteem. Oh, you're going to fail, you're so useless. You're wasting your time. Don't you think you should be studying? All of these things tamper with a child's self-esteem. Do we teach them any life skills? Absolutely not. No cooking skills, no money management skills, no frustration tolerance skills, nothing. So children don't know how to tolerate frustration. When they go abroad, they don't know how to fend for themselves. They're completely lost. And then we have the fear of drugs, we have the fear of sexual abuse, we have the fear of pornography, we have the fear of people sitting on their mobiles and going into gaming addictions. Yes, all of these things exist. But this is a form of escape. Please don't look at it as a bad habit. There are so many children who come to me and said, Auntie, we do weed. Why do you do weed? I can't face the world, Auntie, otherwise. I can't face my parents, I can't face the world, I can't face school, I can't face the stress, and this makes me feel calm. It's horrifying, isn't it, that children are doing recreational drugs just to feel calm and just to reduce the stress. Why can't we as adults notice that our children are stressed out? What should we now do about it? The first thing is, give your children a platform. We in India are authoritarian parents. We don't take no for an answer. Please practice cool parenting and democratic parenting, where a child can talk. You might want to veto what the child says. It doesn't mean you have to listen to everything the child demands. Have a healthy discussion. Explain to them why they should not be doing such a thing. They should not be getting something like that, or asking or demanding, something which is unaffordable. Tell them that, there are so many professions open. What is your interest? What is it that you want to do? What can we do for you to facilitate a better education, a better understanding of what is right and what is wrong, a better understanding of your own responsibilities as a child? Spend time with them. That's the most valuable thing you can do for a child. Give them the gift of time. A lot of people believe in quality time. Children need quality and quantity. Be a cool parent. If your child comes home and says, oh, I have a crush on this person in my class, don't overreact. Say, okay, this is normal, this is hormonal, and if you haven't already talked to a child about hormones and growing up, do it now. Understand their mood swings, understand their need for a break, understand their need for a peer group. Be friends with even their friends. You can be the go-to parent actually, where all the friends come and want to talk to you. Tell them, and tell you their problems. So you tell them what is right and what is wrong in a very friendly way. You can also think about having tiny parties, little tea parties where everybody comes and like a study party, all sit and study or not study, and then watch a movie, have some food with you, talk to you about their problems, you try to solve it, and then they can go home. Create a relaxed atmosphere for your children. 8 hours of sleep, good food. Sometimes you can give them junk food also. Take them out. Outings. We can never be too busy or too tired for our children. Take them out. It can be anything, even just down the road to eat pani puri. Once in a while, understand that children have their needs too. It's not just about us, it's about them. Talk to them if you feel that there's some change in their behavior. If you find them irritable, if you find them sticking to themselves, sitting inside their room, sitting in dark rooms, not being able to focus on studies, not wanting to go to school, crying, getting angry, having violent spells, this could be a sign of depression. Talk to your student counselor, talk to your teachers. Just see what can be done. Encourage them to go and talk to somebody. If they feel they can't talk to their parents, tell them, go to your school counselor and talk to them. Anything to lessen the burden. It would be great if they trust you enough to talk to you. And you should create that platform where parents are the ones, who they go to first. But sometimes that doesn't happen. For various reasons, you could be busy working, the bonding hasn't happened. It could be anything. But make sure that they talk to somebody. Going to a professional is not wrong. Please don't under the wrong concept that professionals are going to write tablets, make them sleepy, do all kinds of things. Professionals are just impartial listeners. They'll just help your child and help you to be better parents, or change the paradigm of parenting, change the child's behavior, help with the child's angst, or stuff which they can't tell you if they tell somebody who's a professional. Isn't that a better idea than just telling some random person and getting the wrong advice? Encourage healthy TV viewing, encourage healthy net time. Supervise their screen times so that you know what they're watching, and you know that, and they know that you know. That way everybody's careful. Make sure your children know about good touch and bad touch. Make sure your children know about basic sex education. Don't be shy. Encourage play time along with study time. Make sure they get some breaks, and during that break, let it be a fun break, not a lecture break where parents are saying, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not getting better marks in math. If your child comes back with a 98 grade, don't ask, where did the other 2 marks go? 98 is a great grade. Do this and notice the change in our children. Do this and see your child visibly becoming happier. Do this because you care for your children. We are adults. We owe this to our children. We owe them a better childhood. We owe them better memories that they can talk to their children about and say, oh, my mom and my dad, we were such fun people. You owe it to them. We owe it to them. In a world which is so stressful, Be your child's stress buster. Just watch it. It works.